All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. Friday Junior. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Great. All right. Well, one day closer to break. How are we feeling about that? Fantastic. Thanksgiving break starts tomorrow, so make sure. Caroline, take your hoodie off for me. Make sure that we have been staying on top of our classwork, getting everything turned in and everything turned in, so that you go into the break, you don't have anything missing, and you're not surprised when we get back. All right. So today we're talking about influences on health. All right. Last week we talked about influences on health, but we talked about it more on the family side, all right, and the personal and relationship skills that we talk that you have, all right, and how that affects our health. Well, today we're going to talk about the social media side and how that affects our health. So before I get started, on average, I need someone to pull out their phone and go to the screen time, all right, and tell me, what do you average on one app? Just one app. So you're gonna go to your notifications, yep, and then click screen, well, not notifications, settings, screen time.
An hour and 16.
9 hours and 34 minutes on Snapchat. All right, what do you got?
I got an hour and 16 on Snapchat.
Hour and 16 on Snapchat.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Today? You talking about for today?
10 hours.
10 hours on TikTok. Okay, that's a lot. All right, one more person, then we'll move on.
4 hours.
4 hours. What you guys got?
5 hours.
5 hours. All right, so that's a lot of time, right, that we're spending on social media. A lot of time spent on social media. And sometimes you guys don't even know it, and it's affecting your health little by little. It doesn't necessarily show up today, but it'll show up in the long run. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna move on. All right, so I just wanted to I got this little video I want to show you guys, and it just talks about how social media influences the mental health and behaviors of students between the ages of 13 and 17. All right, so just.
Teenagers are using social media in a plethora of really positive ways. There are groups, there are clubs out there to address anything that a teen has interest with. I see a lot of kids facing challenges with depression, anxiety, and they're able to connect. I think it's incredibly important that we're using social media appropriately. We're seeing teens architect their Instagram photos using filters to create images that are not aligned with who they really are, but they're generating likes. It's a social currency and it's addictive.
Sometimes teens make bad decisions and they can post things on social media that they don't realize that exists forever. As adults, employers look at social media and what are you posting on there? Kids aren't thinking about those kinds of things.
So we do want to supervise our child's social media usage. Simply asking them what their social media represents, the values that they want represented, and to ask them about the content that they post. Why is it important? What's interesting about it? Coming from a place of genuine, authentic interest, right? Not concern, just interest. We start that conversation, we keep it open-ended, we keep it consistent, we check in often, and we invite that conversation.
All right, so that was just a brief video just talking about social media, how it's used, how it affects you guys. How many of you guys feel as though that sometimes you can struggle with social media or struggle with what you see on social media? All right, a couple of you guys raise your hand. That's good. How many of you feel as though that social media can be a useful tool and not a hurtful tool? All right, give me an example, DJ, of how it can be helpful.
Like, for example, like for our basketball team, there's this thing called a scoreboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like back in the day, they didn't really have social media to help get out stuff. So if you can't be in contact with somebody, literally, you can use social media to help.
That's a good thing. All right, then go back to that negative. Who can give me a negative example of social media and how it can hurt someone? Zali?
It makes your mental health. It can affect your mental health.
Correct. It can affect your mental health. So those are two different things that influence our health. One good, one bad. Again, one on the positive end of the spectrum, one on the negative end of the spectrum. And that is what that video essentially is talking about. Understanding that, sometimes linked to our phones is the, social anxiety, the depression and stuff like that. But then on the other end, we can be real and authentic with ourselves and with other people and form real connections. All right, so.
Teenagers are using social media.
There we go. All right, so this is just some data from, as you know, we talked about it before, just on y'all screen time, just some of the data I got from some students that go here, all right, that I asked throughout the hallway today. One student told me they spend 19 hours and 21 minutes on TikTok. All right, another student told me they spend over almost 3.5 hours on Snapchat. Another student said 6 hours on YouTube, and another student said 8 hours, a little bit over 8 hours on Twitter. All right, and these students, they all vary in age. I think I went in order from like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. All right, so it varied in ages, but as you can see, all right, majority, student one was a freshman, and what you guys are, TikTok takes up a lot of their time. That's something that they got to learn to balance and, you know, try and cut down, because 19 hours is a long time, we all agree. All right, and then compared to the senior, all right, they got about 8 hours on Twitter. I mean, I don't know who spends that much time on Twitter. I mean, I go on Twitter every now and then and just see, you know, the football stuff, this, that, and third. But, you know, some of this stuff, you know, we got to be able to cut down on, especially the student one and student four. Any questions here on the data that we're seeing? All right. So the standard, all right, I have it right here, and then it's up on the board if you lost what we're talking about today. All right, the students will analyze the influence of family, peers, culture, media, technology, and other factors on health behaviors, all right? But we're really focusing on the substandard, which would be E, and it says evaluate the effect of media on personal and family health. All right, so we're not just talking about you and your own personal health and how social media affects it, but we're also gonna talk about how social media or media in general can affect your family health as well. All right, so your essential question, I want you to think about this question as I go through the lesson, all right? What ways can media/social media impact your health? All right, the objective for today, or your learning target, you will be able to evaluate the effects of social media 50% of the time. So if I ask you some questions, you'll be able to do that, you know, say 1 out of 2 times, that's 50%. All right, you should be able to tell me the effects of social media. And then the I can statement, we'll discuss at the end too. It says, I can effectively evaluate the effects of social media on my own health. So any questions on the standard, essential question, objective, or I can statement for today? No? All right, moving on. So some vocabulary first just to think about. All right, we already talked about social media. Before I read what they have as textbook definition of social media is, can someone tell me what their definition of social media is? Nobody, I'm gonna call a name. Isabella, what is your definition of social media?
Like a platform on the internet.
Okay. Chloe, what is your definition of social media?
Like,
Okay, so Isabella said a platform. All right, what else can social media be used for?
like communication and stuff.
Okay, good. All right, so this textbook definition is a website and application that enables users to create and share content or to participate in social network. That's what social media is. All right, and then family health. All right, the family or household setting is the natural place where many health behaviors, all right, so that's everything that you learn growing up, whether good or bad, are developed, maintained, and changed, all right? A lot of things that you guys are doing now is been in you since you've been a little kid, because that's what's been cultivated in you. Your family might do something differently in this household than the next family does. Typically, if you grow up in a house that are full of healthy eaters, you're more typical, not more typical, but you're more likely to do what? Be a healthy eater, right? Now, if you grow up in a house where all you ate is junk food the whole time growing up, you're more likely to eat junk food, correct? All right, it works that way. Now, by no means necessary does that person that only grew up in a house with just junk food, do they have to continue to eat junk food? They can change on their own, all right? Same with a healthy person, they can choose to eat junk food. It's all about your own conscious efforts and conscious decisions to make their own personal choice, which ties into the personal health part, which essentially, and I just explained, the ability to take charge of your health by making conscious decisions to be healthy, all right? We all have a choice to be healthy. We don't have to, you know, stick with what we're placed in or where we're at, or just because, you know, I understand sometimes we don't have those options, but we can also try and make the best out of those options. Any questions so far on the vocabulary or anything? All right, we're good. Okay, moving on. All right, so the impacts of social media on families. All right, it's essentially, not essentially, but in a way, family time is crucial. All right, it's very crucial. How many of you guys eat family dinner? All right, DJ, Chloe, you. What is one thing? Is there a rule at the table when you guys are eating about no cell phones or anything like that?
Yes.
No social media. All right, that's good because that allows for you to communicate and connect with each other. All right, that's the positive. The negative impact, all right, is that it starves the family of learning and modeling with each other. All right, so we lose those social cues, you lose those relationship skills, and you lose out on that bonding. All right, a lot of times you guys go through things and sometimes you don't feel like you have no one to talk to, but when you do try and talk to your parents or someone in your family, what do they always have in their hand? Their phone or their faces in their computer, right? And then now you feel alone, so we're missing out on that piece of where, hey, I need someone for me, but because of this right here, I can't necessarily, accomplish what I want to accomplish or, express my feelings. All right, then it also says it robs you of the attention, communication, and feelings of safety within your family. Your family should be your safe net. That should be your safe place to go. But when social media impacts it to where it's being detrimental, then that affects your health and your family's health on the negative side. All right? And then one of the quotes I found as I was researching it said, and it's two quotes actually. The first one I read is from the parent perspective, and then the second one I'm reading is from the student perspective. It says, many students reported that they felt as though their parents were addicted to their phones and computers. Do some of you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
All right. And then the other part, it said parents felt the communication skills of the child disappeared the more they use social media. Do you also agree with that? Yes, it goes hand in hand. One can't go without the other. You have to be able to meet each other in the middle to have that common ground. So those are some of the positive and negative impacts of social media. All right, then we have the impacts of social media on our own personal health. All right, the more time we spend on social media can lead to cyberbullying, social anxiety, depression, and exposure to content that is not age appropriate. All right, how often is it that we're scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on, Twitter, if you're on Twitter, and we're scrolling, we get to that point where we see something we don't have any business in, right? Probably because we've been on there for a long time, correct? And so the algorithm done ran out of stuff that's curated for you, and now it's seeing things that aren't age appropriate. All right, then you got the cyberbullying piece, all right, where people get on social media and it's more negative than it is positive. How often do you guys see negative posts than you do see positive posts? A lot more, right? We see negative posts more than we see positive posts. All right, so that can be a problem for your own mental health. All right, then social media is addicting. All right, how many of you guys feel as though that if I take your phone right now and tell you not to be on social media, you feel like it could be the end of the world? About half of y'all, right? It's addicting. It can be addicting. All right, and we got to be able to come up with self breaks and take moments at the end of the day where it's like, hey, I need to put my phone down. I need to stop. All right, and move on. Does that make sense? Okay. Y'all are very quiet today. I need y'all to act like we're just interact. Yeah, here we go. All right. So moving on to the next thing. So we've been talking about some of the pros. All right. But a little bit. But some of the pros of social media. And DJ mentioned it earlier. Connecting with people, networking. All right. It can be used to empower the imagination. How many of you guys get ideas that you see from social media? All right, good. What's an idea that you saw that you used recently from social media?
Cooking.
Cooking, all right. Cooking recipes. I'm the same as well. If I see something, normally it's on TikTok, I see a recipe that I like, I try and cook it. I try my best, so that's positive, all right? It can use us to help be active and working out. We can use TikTok, all right, to see if we follow personal trainer on there and follow their workout routines, all right, to accomplish the goals in which we want to accomplish. And then the third one, it says it's used to help find a hobby or a new interest, all right? How many of y'all have hobbies in here? A hobby. Chloe, what's your hobby?
Art.
Art? Did you raise your hand? No. All right. Isabella, did you raise your hand? You did? Alright, what's your hobby that you have?
Crochet.
Crochet, alright. DJ, did you have a hobby? What you want to share?
Yes. I'm a real good drawer. I like
Drawer,
to draw.
okay, good.
Very artistic.
Artistic, alright, that's good, alright. Does social media help you fuel your ideas on some of your drawings? Like some of the things that you see on social media, you try and draw as well?
Of course.
Alright, that's good. Alright, a little bit about me. Alright, when the pandemic first hit back in 2020, I got into DJing. Alright, I was on social media, I swear, I got into DJing. Alright, because I thought it was cool, I was interested with it. I was like, let me try it. So I bought a turntable and everything. Maybe one day I'll bring it and DJ. I know how to, I swear to God, I know how to DJ. Alright. So now what we're gonna do as a class, I need class participation right here. Alright, I'm gonna read off this first scenario, then I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to think about it, then we're gonna answer it together. Alright, so the first scenario says, Jacob averaged over 10 hours of screen time a day on his phone. He constantly complains about his eyes hurting. What can Jacob do to help with his issue? Give it a second, let everyone think, and then we'll answer that question. Give it a second, let everyone think, and then we'll answer that question, all right? So it says, again, I'll read it one more time. It says, Jacob averages over 10 hours of screen time a day on his phone. He constantly complains about his eyes hurt. What can Jacob do to help with his issue? Give you guys time to think about it. All right, that should have been enough time. All right, Caroline, what can Jacob do to help with his issue?
He can reduce his screen time hours.
Good, he can reduce his screen time hours. That's one option. Does anyone else have another option? Yes, Ali.
He can put a limit on his phone so he can't go over.
That's good. He can put a limit on his phone to make sure that he does not go over it. Anyone else? DJ?
Those glasses that like the
The blue blockers?
yes, those.
Blue, I know
Blue
it's
light.
blue light blockers. Hey, it's the same thing.
I thought it was like UV something.
It's blue light.
Blue light. They say your phone screens, emit so much blue light, and they make those. I call them just little blue light blockers. All right. Moving on. Scenario 2, which is a little bit longer. All right, it's gonna cause you to think a little bit. All right, it says Maddie and Lexi are big into going viral on TikTok. How many of you guys are trying to go viral on TikTok? Yeah, of course you raise your hand. All right, Maddie has limits to certain things she will do. All right, and that should be Lexi, not Maddie. Lexi, on the other hand, will do anything for attention or clout. All right, Maddie feels uncomfortable with the newest idea for TikTok fame. What should she tell Lexi? And what effects is the potential fame doing to Lexi? So think about that, all right? What effects is it having on Lexi trying to obtain this TikTok fame? And then what is Maddie trying to tell Lexi that how is Maddie gonna go about telling her she doesn't feel comfortable doing it? Take the time, think about it, and then we'll answer it. I give you 2 minutes to think about this one because it's a little longer and I know it's a little wordier, all right? I mix up the words a little bit, but work with me, but just think about this one, all right? Maddie and Lexi, best friends. One will do something, the other won't. All right, it's essentially that. All right, give you about 30 more seconds to think about this one. All right. Now, what should Maddie tell Lexi about her feelings towards the new TikTok that she wants to try and post, but she don't feel comfortable with?
Me?
You had your hand raised, Caroline.
She should tell her that she doesn't feel comfortable and that being TikTok famous isn't that important.
All right, good. That's a good answer. All right. Now to the second part of that question: what effects on Maddie's health, or Lexi's health, will the potential TikTok fame have? Like, how is it going to affect her mentally, physically?
She'll
Or, I'm sorry, you go ahead first, Caroline, then DJ can answer.
She's gonna like not be herself, maybe, and yeah.
Alright, DJ, what do you got?
Like you were saying earlier, I think the long-term effects it can have, like, being like, in the social media fame world, like, it can make you do anything, you know what I'm saying, for fame. And then, like, you wanna fit in, you know what I'm saying, and that could be something bad, something good, so, you know, I think it's more so like long-term effect, more than anything.
Alright, good job, good job. Alright, so next you guys do, you should already have out your Chromebook. We're gonna take the next, I say about 5 to 7 minutes, alright, you're gonna click on that link, alright, and practice the form, alright? We'll go on there, and there's a form that you're gonna complete, alright, for practice, alright? It's just going through different scenarios and different answers, alright? If you have questions, call me to your desk and I will help you, alright? But that's what we're doing, so make sure that you click on the link on the form on the slide, alright? And we're gonna take the next 5 to 7 minutes to answer it, alright? Yes, ma'am. Now, just make sure you type it, correctly. All right, read each question carefully. Make sure everyone's working. Like I said, you got 5 to 7 minutes, you know, to get this done. And then we'll come back and we'll start talking about it a little bit and go from there. You got 4 more minutes on it, guys. Got 4 more minutes. Couple more minutes. Once you're done, just wait, and we'll go from there. Good job, okay. That's really good job. All right, 3 more minutes. I see a few people trying to finish up. All right, good. All right, so I got one of the questions here from the practice, all right, off of the form, and it just says, what is one way that you can effectively manage your mental health? All right, what is one way when it comes to social media? When it comes to social media, all right, what is a way that you can help your mental health when it comes to social media? Yes, Ali.
You can look up like therapy TikToks and get like examples of a way to calm yourself down and stuff like that.
Good. That's a great answer right there. Looking up those different type of tools to help you can go a long way into helping out your mental health, and especially giving yourself those little breaks on social media. Okay. All right. Now, again, you guys got that done. I'll look over that this weekend and make sure you guys completed that correctly. All right, now, this is for the close of the day. Remember, I said I wanted you guys to think about it as we were going through the lesson. All right, what ways can media or social media impact your health? We just answered one of those questions, but I want someone else to give me another answer on how one good, one bad. All right, on how in what ways can media or social media impact our health? Chloe.
It can affect your mental health really badly, because you can sometimes feel insecure about watching physical stuff.
Okay, good, ladies, remember, we were talking, y'all got to give them the floor, all right? Good, that's one of the negative ways, all right, what's a positive way? Isabella, what's a positive way, media or social media can impact your health?
New hobbies.
New hobbies, good, Caroline, you got one?
It can give you new friendships.
New friendships, good, all right? How many of you guys have friends that don't live in Cedartown, or that they live out of state, all right, or somewhere else, right? How do you get in touch with them? Through social media, right? Again, it goes back to DJ saying earlier about how he explained how people keep up with the basketball team through social media. It's networking, all right? It's one way that we're able to keep up with our students. Not our students, but to keep up with our friends, okay? And then the I can statement, the objective, all right, it should say 50%, not 3/4, but you guys were able to effectively evaluate the effects of social media, good and bad. All right, stay with me, we're almost done. All right, our I can statement, all right, was I can effectively evaluate the effects of social media on my own health. All right, you guys feel confidently that you can do that? Yes, all right, good,
Yes.
all right. You guys know how to navigate social media, and you know how to take those mental breaks, all right? All right, and then forecasting for the next lesson. All right, the next lesson, guys, we're getting ready to go into Thanksgiving break, so there is no next lesson till we get back, all right? I know you guys will be I know y'all, that's the most excited y'all been all day, all right? But we'll pick back up at this point when we get back from break, roll in the finals. All right, making sure we're square over anything that we missed and going forward. So any questions from today, over the lesson today? Yes, DJ?
How do you use social media?
How do I use social media? I use social media to connect with my family, to keep in touch with my friends, to keep up with some of my favorite sports teams and stuff like that. And then I sometimes do find myself, like y'all, I gotta take a break from it. I think I looked today, and I ain't gonna say what my hours were on TikTok, but they're high. All right, it's really higher than what it should be. All right, but just like you guys, I also, have to take heed to some of the advice and some of the, different things that we learned today for my own self. All right. Any other questions? Everybody good? All right. Thank y'all. Actually, I forgot one thing. That we could talk about.
What? I have a question.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, go for it.
So,
It's okay, take your time.
whenever I find myself scrolling through TikTok, what's something else I could do as an alternative than being on social media?
If you're into just different things, and it goes back to finding like a hobby. If I want to read a book, find a book to read, like an actual paper book, and not just, like that, a paper book. All right, go to the library when I'm here, check out a book. I can read that. I can draw, color, those different things. Anything that doesn't require me having my phone in my hand. All right, put it down. That's the way that you can help yourself, not be on social media for too long. Any other questions?
Thank you for that.
Okay, good. Oh, the thing I had to tell you guys, remember, make sure that you completed that form, all right? If you didn't complete it within the allotted time, you got time now for the rest of the class period, okay? Make sure that's done. Don't wanna come back from break with the zero sitting on the grade book, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.